In a world that's increasingly defined by complexity and confusion, finding your own truth can feel like a journey through a dense, uncharted forest. But deep down, there's a voice that calls us to be more. To break free from the constraints of societal norms and rise above mediocrity. Imagine for a moment, waking up one day and realizing that everything you've been told about success and happiness has been part of a system designed not to elevate you, but to keep you in line. This realization might feel jarring, but it's also a gift. It's a wake-up call that offers you a new path. A path where you decide your destiny. A path where responsibility and discipline are the cornerstones of true freedom. You have the power to define your own worth, and no one else can take that from you. This journey isn't just about personal success. It's about resisting the forces that try to shape our thinking, about staying true to our hearts and our mission in life. With great power comes great responsibility, and it's this principle that guides us on our quest for authenticity and purpose. I've never sought to sugarcoat the truth, especially when it's uncomfortable. Instead, I've embraced it head-on because I believe people deserve the real version of life, not a sanitized illusion. The world is filled with uncomfortable truths, realities that are far from easy but absolutely essential to understand. The kind of impact I've had on others, the thousands of emails from men who were on the edge of despair and found hope, is a testament to the idea that truth, even when it hurts, can also heal. I've always tried to convey that the universe is a generous place, that every person has the potential to lead a contented life, regardless of where they start. God did not create anyone to live a life of despair, without a chance at happiness. We live in a time when many young people lack the drive to become the best versions of themselves. They think that the world owes them something just for existing. But the harsh truth is, as a man, you have to earn your value. There is no inherent worth handed to you at birth. You need to prove yourself, and that process is neither easy nor short. Every man has faced rejection, heartbreak, and failure, and that's what makes the journey so powerful. It's the story of overcoming, of struggling through those moments of insignificance, and emerging with purpose. Whether it's through your career, a craft, or another endeavor, you have to push through the bottom if you ever want to rise to the top. The key message I try to share is about resisting the slave mind, the mindset that blindly accepts what it's told without questioning the source or intent behind it. So many people out there are vessels ready to be programmed, adopting beliefs not because they have experienced or validated them, but because they were told to believe them. It's crucial to keep an open mind, to challenge deeply held convictions, and to question who benefits from the rules we live by. The rules of society aren't made for your benefit. They serve the interests of those in power. My goal is to encourage critical thinking, self-awareness, and independence from the systems that try to dictate our every move. The world is in dire need of men who uphold traditional values, men who understand their duty to protect and provide for their families, who take pride in being real men. This isn't about belittling women or stripping them of their independence. Rather, it's about embracing the beauty of a partnership where men and women bring their strengths together to create something even greater. In my relationship, for instance, I take financial responsibility seriously. I work to provide a stable foundation, but it is always in harmony with the respect for my partner's autonomy. We each play our role, and together, we are stronger. There's also a misconception about depression that I've often tried to clear up. Feeling depressed is very real. It's a heavy, dark cloud that can descend upon anyone. However, what I challenge is the notion that depression is an external disease that leaves you completely powerless. I believe in taking control of your life, even in the darkest moments. I've known friends suffering from PTSD and people going through unimaginably difficult times, and what helped them was their decision to fight back. Taking responsibility for your circumstances as much as possible is the first step to regaining control. I once spoke with a man who was on the verge of ending his life, and I simply told him, "Get a six-pack, then let's talk." It sounds simplistic, but what I was offering was a concrete goal, a way to channel his energy into something positive, something he could control. And it worked. When he stopped identifying himself solely as a depressed person and started seeing himself as someone capable of change, he transformed. The problem with today's average man is that he thinks just doing his job and following the rules will lead to a fulfilling life. But we are no longer living in a world where the obedient, hardworking citizen is guaranteed happiness. If you choose to be average, if you choose to blend into the crowd, then your life will reflect that choice. Wealth and success are no longer handed out to those who play it safe. You have to stand out, break the mold, and create your own path. Financial freedom, like any kind of freedom, requires you to understand the game you're playing and how the rules are designed. Money, contrary to popular belief, is not a static resource. It's always in motion, circulating, waiting for those who are willing to understand its flow and position themselves accordingly. In this attention-driven economy, having people's eyes on you is often more valuable than any traditional metric of success. If you can capture attention, you can monetize it. But that requires you to think differently about the value you bring. It's not about working hard at a job for years. It's about working smart and understanding how the system works. The people who get ahead aren't necessarily the ones who followed the rules. They're the ones who understood the rules well enough to see where they could be bent or even broken to their advantage. The way we think about money and success should be through a lens of constant curiosity. Every time you spend money, ask yourself why you made that decision. Was it convenience? Was it marketing? If you can break down the motivations behind your choices, you'll begin to see opportunities everywhere. Maybe the coffee shop you frequent could do better with different decor. Or maybe you could run a competing shop more effectively. Most people never think about these things. They're too caught up in their routines, following the same paths without questioning the world around them. Growing up, I remember the frustration I felt seeing expensive cars drive by while I walked miles to get to school. It wasn't just envy. It was the realization that there was knowledge out there that I didn't have. Knowledge that allowed someone to afford a lifestyle I could only dream of. And I knew that what we were being taught in school wasn't the way to get there. Nobody accumulates wealth by simply following the traditional, obedient path. You have to look beyond that, beyond what society tells you is possible. It's not about working endlessly for someone else. It's about understanding how to make your own opportunities, how to leverage your time and energy to build something that works for you. Being a man today means being willing to endure hardship, to take risks, and to refuse to accept mediocrity. Young men need to aspire to something greater than themselves, to strive for financial independence, to build strong relationships, and to be resilient in the face of challenges. It's not just about avoiding a criminal record or making money. It's about standing for something, about providing value to those around you, and about being strong enough to face the world with your head held high. If men grow up striving for these ideals, then we will have a society filled with disciplined, hardworking, and morally grounded individuals who are capable of both protecting and providing. To truly succeed in life, one must be willing to step outside the boundaries set by society. It's about daring to dream beyond the limits that have been placed on you and questioning the conventions that many take for granted. This doesn't mean that all rules are meant to be broken or that tradition holds no value. Instead, it means discerning when a rule is a tool for growth and when it's a chain that holds you back. The greatest innovators, leaders, and visionaries in history were not the ones who simply followed the guidelines they were given. They were the ones who looked at those guidelines, assessed their validity, and had the courage to carve out a different path when needed. Take, for example, the conventional idea of education. For years, people have been conditioned to believe that the only way to succeed is through formal schooling, a university degree, and a traditional career. But times have changed. Today, knowledge is everywhere, and access to it is easier than ever before. The internet has become a great equalizer, a place where anyone with curiosity and the will to learn can find a wealth of information on any topic imaginable. The idea that success is locked behind a 4-year degree and tens of thousands of dollars in debt is outdated. Yes, education is important, but it's no longer confined to the walls of a university. Real education comes from experiences, from failures, and from relentlessly pursuing what sets your soul on fire. We must remember that the goal is not just to accumulate wealth, but to become a person of value. Money can come and go, but the skills, knowledge, and character you build remain with you. The world today is full of distractions, all competing for your attention. Social media, entertainment, advertisements, all are designed to keep you hooked, to keep you passive. If you want to achieve greatness, you need to learn to master your attention. Focus on what truly matters, on the things that will elevate your life and bring you closer to your goals. Discipline your mind to ignore the noise and concentrate on what will bring you fulfillment. Another essential aspect of this journey is resilience. Life will test you. There will be times when you feel like everything is falling apart, when you face setbacks that seem insurmountable. But those are the moments that define you. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but true strength is forged in times of adversity. Every failure, every setback, every disappointment is an opportunity to grow. It's a chance to learn, to adapt, and to come back stronger. The people who succeed are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who refused to give up when they did. They are the ones who stood back up, time and time again, no matter how many times life knocked them down. I often think about the concept of legacy. What do you want to leave behind when you're gone? How do you want to be remembered? These are questions that we should all ask ourselves. It's not about leaving behind a fortune or a list of accomplishments. It's about the impact you've had on the lives of others. It's about the lessons you've taught, the love you've shared, and the example you've set. Your legacy is built in the small moments, in the choices you make every day. It's built in the way you treat others, in the courage you show, and in the values you uphold. Discipline is one of the most important qualities you can cultivate. It's the bridge between goals and accomplishments, the tool that allows you to turn your dreams into reality. Without discipline, even the best-laid plans will remain just that. Plans. But with discipline, anything is possible. It's what keeps you going when motivation wanes, what pushes you forward when the excitement fades and the hard work begins. Discipline is about making sacrifices in the short term for the greater reward in the long term. It's about saying no to instant gratification so you can say yes to a future filled with opportunities. Self-mastery is closely tied to discipline. It's about understanding yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your triggers, and your motivations. It's about taking control of your thoughts and emotions instead of letting them control you. We live in a world where we're constantly told to follow our feelings, to do what makes us happy in the moment. But true success comes from learning to master those feelings, from doing what is necessary even when it's not easy or comfortable. Self-mastery is about becoming the kind of person who does what needs to be done, regardless of how they feel. A big part of self-mastery is also about learning to let go of excuses. It's easy to blame your circumstances, your upbringing, or other people for where you are in life. But the truth is, you are responsible for your own destiny. Yes, life is unfair, and some people start with more advantages than others. But that doesn't mean you can't succeed. It doesn't mean you can't rise above your circumstances and achieve greatness. Every excuse you make is a step away from your goals. Every time you blame someone else, you give away your power. Take ownership of your life, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Reflecting on these lessons, it's clear that the journey towards success and fulfillment isn't an easy one, but it is incredibly worthwhile. The power of discipline, of questioning the status quo, and of striving for something greater than oneself are values that I hold dear. We all have moments of weakness, times when it feels easier to just give up, to blend in, to avoid the struggle. But it's precisely in those moments that our true character is forged. Success is not about avoiding pain, it's about learning from it, growing through it, and emerging stronger on the other side. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this message, it's that your life is in your hands. You have the power to shape it, to fight for it, and to make it meaningful. Not just for yourself, but for those who depend on you, who believe in you, and who are inspired by your journey. Remember that every day is an opportunity to write your story, to decide who you want to be, and to take one step closer to that vision. Your struggles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. The challenges you face are not meant to break you, they are meant to make you stronger. Embrace them, learn from them, and most importantly, keep moving forward. Your legacy is waiting to be written, and it starts with the choices you make today. Make them count.